definitely more intense than I thought it was gonna be. My heart is pounding.
Yeah! Today on Rock the Park.
This is unreal. It seems like you're on another planet.
We're heading deep inside the Earth.
What was that?
You got it.
Oh my. Colton's starting to freak out a little bit.
I wanna get out of here.
And looking deep inside ourselves.
How is my head gonna fit through here? You got it, man.
To find a mammoth adventure unlike any other.
Woo!
And it all starts right now.
That was awesome.
I'm Jack Stewart.
And I'm Colton Smith.
We love the national parks.
Oh my gosh.
It's all about packing up a car and just doing it. Just hitting the road.
Our goal is to visit every national park in this country.
And when you go off the beaten path like we do,
There's no telling what will happen next.
wow, ready for the time of your life?
Get set to rock the park. This is Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky, the longest known cave system in the world.
It is more than 400 miles of trails and tunnels, all buried deep inside the earth.
Humans have been exploring these limestone labyrinths for almost 5,000 years, and yet,
New caves and pathways are being discovered all the time.
located just an hour and a half south of Louisville, Kentucky, Mammoth Cave National Park gets 2 million visitors a year.
We're going to explore all the bizarre ways this cave has been used over the centuries. We'll meet some current inhabitants, and we'll put ourselves through the ultimate test that leaves us very little space to breathe, let alone think straight.
Today, Ranger Vicky Carson will be showing us around.
Whoa, look at that. Oh my gosh.
This isn't like any national park I've ever been to.
No, not at all.
Already, it is creepy down here. It's eerie. Honestly, it's like we're walking into an abyss.
This is one of the first big rooms that you come to in the cave, and it's called the rotunda because of that round ceiling.
Yeah.
And here is where there are remains from a saltpeter mine back in 1809, and these are the original timbers.
Saltpeter is a naturally occurring chemical compound that is used to make gunpowder. During the War of 1812, the British cut off the American supply of foreign gunpowder, so slaves mined the nitrate here. They are the unsung heroes, and their bravery saved the United States.
The gunpowder that they were able to harvest, that basically won the War of 1812, did it not?
Yes.
It's amazing.
So we're following Vicky, and she takes us to what she's calling a bottomless pit.
For the first people who came here and crossed, probably in 1838, the lanterns that they had were smaller. The light didn't shoot downward, and it just looked like it went on and on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's far.
105 feet down, in fact. Yikes.
Oh, that's creepy. Wow.
We call this the subway.
So we've been wandering around in the cave for a while, and all of a sudden, Vicky leads us to these little stone huts in the middle of this cave.
Believe it or not, people suffering from tuberculosis, or consumption as it was called, actually lived here.
Dr. John Cron thought the cave air had restorative properties. He saw people going on cave tours. They would walk for miles and never get tired. And he asked people with consumption to come into the cave and live here. In the 1840s, people stayed for about 6 months. There were
6 months entirely in this hut?
The doctor thought it would help people breathe more easily, but because they had to light fires for warmth and to cook, it became very smoky down here. Many patients, and eventually even the doctor himself, died.
This is Mammoth Dome. It's a vertical shaft, almost 200 feet high.
Oh, wow. Look at that. And you're saying that water did all that?
Yes, and still is. You hear the water falling. And
Yeah, I'm getting wet right now.
It's hard to believe that water alone carved them, but slowly over 10 million years, that's exactly what happened.
Oh,
Get one in the eye?
in the eye, yeah.
Okay, now this is Fat Man's Misery. So I don't know.
All right.
It's really tricky.
Lead on.
Oh, yeah.
Just go slowly, and keep in mind this is a tiny canyon. You can see how water scalloped the edges and then just made this windy little path.
That is incredible.
Jack, are you miserable yet?
No, but my back hurts. They should call this tall man's misery.
What was that?
Coming up, things are getting batty.
Oh my gosh. And maybe a little more than we bargained for.
I'm almost out.
I'm stuck.
We're in Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky, squeezing through a tight passageway called Fat Man's Misery.
I'm doing all right, but then
What was that?
bats start whizzing by my head, and I'm just flailing my arms around.
He's just trying to find the way out, you guys.
I'm not a big fan of bats. They creep me out.
Oops, another bat.
Another bat. Another bat.
Here he is.
There he is. Later tonight, we'll be joining up with a team of researchers who are studying the bat populations here.
Now we got a cave.
Yeah.
This is the frozen Niagara area.
Oh, wow, look at down here. Man, bet you get some great acoustics down here. Nailed it.
This is what I think of when I think of a cave, you know?
Look at that over there. You see, what are those? Oh my gosh. Looks like somebody just sculpted all this out and it's perfectly smoothed over.
The sculpting we've seen before is where water has cut the rock. Here, water is building up the rock.
Over time, water seeping through the ground has deposited crystals of limestone little by little and created these formations called stalagmites and stalactites.
The stalactites hang tight to the ceiling, you could say.
Okay, so they're the ones that kind of seem like they're dripping down.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And then others pointing up, those are stalagmites. They mound up where they might reach the ceiling.
A single droplet of water is how these all begin forming.
Yes.
How long have these been in the forming process?
A general rule is that a cubic inch takes between 100 to 300 years.
This is unreal.
After a few hours underground, it's time to head back up to learn more about the bats that call Mammoth home. But first,
Now we have to clean our boots.
Every time you exit the cave, you have to walk on a biosecurity mat.
Foam them up.
Foam them up. This helps prevent fungus spores that cause a bat disease called white nose syndrome from spreading.
Cleanest boots in Kentucky, right here.
Left side. Okay. You guys ready for me to
Rick
go
Toomey is head of a research team, and he's offered to take us under his wing tonight. There are 13 bat species in Mammoth Cave, including endangered ones like the gray and Indiana bats. They are incredibly important to the ecosystem because they feed on night-flying insects like moths and mosquitoes.
But right now, there's something that's threatening them, and it's this white nose syndrome.
Yeah, white nose syndrome is a disease. It's caused by a fungus. It's killed something on the order of almost 7 million bats in the US, and there are several species that may go extinct.
Tonight, we've been invited to help out with the research study on the bats in the Mammoth Cave system.
Just hold it.
We'll be capturing, then weighing and measuring the bats and checking to see if they have the disease.
We're setting up this trap. Hopefully we're gonna get some bats flying out. They're gonna drop into the bag.
Whoop, whoop. You see him?
Yep, there he goes. We got one. We've got our first bat, and it's just clawing around, just kind of squirming in there. Oh my gosh. Will he bite you?
If I get my finger close, it will. This is a little thing called a tricolored bat. It's one of our smaller bats.
That's the guy that flew at my head.
Almost certainly. Not as scary now, right?
No, he's pretty cute, actually.
Once the bats are safely transferred from the net to these little pillowcases, it's our job to carry them up to the researchers.
Rick's handling these because we don't have rabies shots.
Take that up.
Oh.
And
I got one.
so, take that on up.
Here we go. So what's the squeaking he's doing?
Their echolocation is largely high frequency that we can't hear, but they can also generate audible sounds. He's calling his mates, he's calling for help.
All All right, I got a nice tricolor here.
Got your ID skills down already, huh?
I do.
All right.
After each bat is measured and inspected for white nose syndrome, they are individually tagged and released.
There he goes. Right now we have a waiting list to get into the clinic over here, so this little guy's got to go up on the line. Ooh, man. Ooh, that guy could sense me. Yikes.
Tonight, we're capturing several different species of bats.
This is great because the more bats they have, the more they can find out and really kind of prepare for what this white nose syndrome is going to do in the long run.
None of the bats captured had active white nose syndrome, but some showed signs that they had survived the disease at some point.
Right now, these bats are coming in fast. It's been a good night for bats. Oh, this one's crawling. I gotta go.
We've got a long night ahead of us, but it's nothing compared to the adventure that awaits us tomorrow.
How is my head gonna fit through here?
Oh, man.
It's our last day in Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, and this is what we've been waiting for.
Oh my gosh!
The Wild Cave Tour. We're facing 6 long hours of tight squeezes through jagged rocks, dust, and mud.
We are going to be crawling through spaces probably this big, and there's no turning back on this. Once we're in, we're in.
It's time to get suited up.
We're meeting up with Ranger Rose Clark, and she's gonna be our guide today on the Wild Cave Tour.
Do you think, Rose, that either one of us are gonna have trouble squeezing through these tiny little spaces?
I've got pretty broad shoulders.
You got some big shoulders. We'll work with you. We may have to do like a half Superman to get you through some of the different crawlways, so we'll see.
Well, luckily, Superman's my middle name.
It should be easy for you then. So you guys ready to go?
Yep.
We're good. All right, guys, follow me.
Wild Cave is the most intense experience the park offers, and it will test your agility and fears of tight spaces, some only 11 inches wide.
Rose is here for 2 very important reasons.
Going deep already.
She knows her way around these maze-like passages and to keep us safe.
Oh no. Not a good start.
Rose clearly has her work cut out, as I keep hitting my head on the way down into the cave.
We're getting off the trail.
This first challenge is called the Bear Hole. At less than a foot wide, it's a good test for first-time cavers. If you can't manage this, you're not allowed to go any further.
So we just dive in? Oh my gosh.
Jack, you're going first.
It's like a 9-inch barrel. You got this.
You're just feeling like, okay, if I don't crawl my way through this, I'm not getting out. So I've got to focus and really just get out of this tight spot. All right, clear.
Oh man, now it's my turn.
You're sure I'm gonna make this?
Yeah.
This is about as wide as my body. I don't have many inches to spare here.
Colton's starting to freak out a little bit, and I'm trying to reassure him. You got it, man. Stomach, you got a stomach.
How is my head gonna fit through here?
You got it, man.
Oh my gosh.
You got it.
I think I'm stuck. I'm trying to wiggle, and there's no room to wiggle whatsoever.
I'm almost out.
You got it.
Oh my gosh. I did it, man.
Good job.
I thought I was stuck for a second there.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fine now.
Now that we've made it through the bear hole, Rose is taking us on a boulder scramble.
Oh, this is so cool.
This is amazing. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. We're caving now, my friend.
Oh, no, it's getting narrower.
This is where we crawl? Oh, it's dusty.
Slide?
Slide, little slide. Woo! I'm rolling. I'm going this way.
That was awesome.
All right, guys, let's go.
We've made it to a chamber called the Lantern Room, where we'll climb over a deep, dark canyon.
All right, guys, so the floor is gonna start disappearing. We're going to put your feet and hands on either side.
This is where you trust that your feet aren't gonna slip. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Can't see anything.
We're almost kind of in a cave within a cave within a cave right now. So as we move along in the tour, the spaces just seem to be getting tighter and tighter.
And this next long crawl is the most intense yet. It's 265 feet below the surface, and at its smallest point, a mere 9 inches high.
We've been crawling for, I'd say, about 20 minutes right now in a tight little space.
Oh, it's a little tighter, Jack.
I start to realize that maybe I do have a little thing with claustrophobia.
I'm kind of ready to get out of here.
I'm battling with my brain, I'm taking deep breaths, and I'm just trying to tell myself that there's gotta be an ending. You're almost there.
How you doing?
I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
You got it.
Oh, man.
That was... Yeah, you feel that?
Yeah.
That's definitely more intense than I thought it was gonna be.
That was pretty crazy.
My heart is pounding.
Oh, man.
And honestly, I am just relieved that I'm out of that tiny little space. But unfortunately, I can't celebrate yet because we're not done.
And it's a belly crawl. It's wide, but it's very short. It's gonna be over a lot of rubble, so there's a lot of loose rock. Probably gonna be poking at you as you crawl.
Can I look in there?
You can look in there.
I love a good physical challenge. Right now, I'm dealing with a mental one.
How far is it? Did you look down there?
I'm not gonna look, I'm just gonna go.
I've got that feeling of claustrophobia, and I can't shake it. Jack goes in, and I'm right behind him.
Are you in, Colton?
Oh. I've just entered the last crawl of this wild Mammoth Cave tour, and it's a tight squeeze. Colton's feeling claustrophobic, and I don't see him coming in behind me.
Are you in, Colton?
No, not yet.
Oh, man.
There is a way around this one, but Colton normally doesn't like to back down from a challenge.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. At the last second, I decide, you know what, I'm done. I'm already feeling too claustrophobic.
You gotta do what, is right for you.
I've been in this cave a little too long.
It's all right.
My mind didn't want me to go, and no matter how much I tried to convince myself it was gonna be okay, just wasn't having it. Jack's got it. More props to him. I'm gonna go greet him on the other side.
A lot of jagged rocks down here.
Jack, how you doing? Jack?
This is tight. This is the hardest part of the crawl. Lucky for me, I'm skinny.
Ooh. I think I got it. Yeah, boots. You're almost there, man. Keep going. Yeah!
Well done. Well done.
Smacked my head hard, and that is why the park requires us to wear helmets.
Thank you. I had a blast.
Yeah, that was quite the experience, but I definitely learned my limitations, at least when it comes to being underground in a cave.
In total, we scrambled and crawled 5.5 miles today. And at our deepest point, we were 280 feet below the surface. Not too shabby.
That was one of the most intense things I think I've ever done.
You're telling me, man.
Even though it was kind of scary, it was a really cool feeling.
I had no idea that I had such a fear of tiny little spaces like that, but I learned a little something about myself on this trip. I don't know about you.
The cool thing, I think, also is the history of people here. To see some of the spots where some mining took place and the tuberculosis huts, it's pretty fascinating.
I love the bats. That was so cool, getting to go out into the field and actually, study these guys.
I'm hooked.
Woo! Mammoth Cave thrilled us from top to bottom, inside and out. Hopefully, we will be back. And remember, if we can do it, so can you. So the next chance you get, go out and rock the park.
everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any questions or comments that you have.
And please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more to come.